Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, people gather in Grand Forks to mourn the death of a UND student following a plane crash.
We now know what led to a deadly shooting in Castleton.
And a shopping outlook for this year with an eye on shifting supply and demand. Valley News Live at 6 starts now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Good evening, everyone. The UND community is mourning the loss of one of their own tonight after a student pilot died in a plane crash in Trail County. A handful of groups are hosting vigils right now.
Valley News Team's J.C. Dodd spoke with students in the commercial aviation program who say last night's tragedy was eye-opening.
That's terrible. I never want to see someone go out like that.
A UND student pilot identified by the university as John Hauser from Chicago was flying solo before his plane crashed in a field near Buxton. He was just 19 years old. Christopher Kelly is a freshman in the same program as Hauser and says the UND community is in shock.
Everyone's feeling sad. It's a sad day in North Dakota, loss of a student, so it's pretty sad. More of an eye-opening event, aviation is dangerous.
The dean of the School of Aerospace Sciences, Robert Krause, halted all UND aerospace flight training activities for today. What caused the UND-owned plane to crash has not yet been determined. Despite rumors swirling around campus, Krause asked students to not speculate and let the investigation take its course. Kelly and another commercial aviation student both emphasized how dangerous the profession is.
Think of aviation, you think in the industry it's safer than driving, but stuff like this does happen, and when something small goes wrong, it can quickly get worse.
And stuff will happen sometimes, but all you can do is learn from it, and it's tragic as it is.
Makeshift memorials are popping up around campus. Hauser was a member of UND's chapter of Delta Tau Delta. They're hosting a vigil at their fraternity tonight to honor him. In Grand Forks, J.C. Dodd, Valley News Live.
Several agencies, including the FAA, will be investigating the cause of that crash.
Representatives from the University Counseling Center will be available at Ryan Hall for the rest of the week.
An update now on the shooting in Castleton that we told you about yesterday. It happened in a residence connected to Club 94. Authorities say 54-year-old Edwin Kester Jr. called police just before 2 o'clock yesterday morning, telling them he had shot someone.
58-year-old Randall Burton was found in the apartment with a gunshot wound. He later died at the hospital. Investigators say this all started because Burton was arrested on a disturbance charge and a woman had a protection order against him.
We have lots of orders prohibiting contact that come out of our court. This is something that almost never happens, but it doesn't mean it cannot happen.
When Burton was released on bond, the woman changed her locks and her doors, invited Kester and friends over to stay with her for her safety.
But police say Burton forced his way into the residence with a knife and Kester shot him. Police are still investigating the claim of self-defense. A teen in North Fargo is safe tonight after escaping through a window during an apartment fire. Crews were called to a fourplex at 2814 8th Street North around noon. The only person in the building, a teenager, couldn't get out through the front door, so they left through a bedroom window. Responders were able to extinguish the flames quickly, but damage to the apartment is estimated at more than $30,000. The fire department told us the cause doesn't appear to be suspicious.
For those of you holding on to summer, it's time to let go. Fall might be slipping a bit as well. Hutch is here with reasoning why. Hutch?
That's right. It's slipping and falling right down on, well, I'll tell you what, it's just the temperatures are going down. In fact, it got so cold today. We are about 30 degrees colder than yesterday at this time, 40 degrees colder out near Rapid City at times throughout the day today. And it gets even colder. But for tonight, we have clouds, and those clouds will blanket in the warmth. But notice this, in the Devil's Lake Basin, north of Devil's Lake, there in Rock Lake and the Candu area, out towards Rolla, some clearing skies. This area right here, we'll be focusing on for a good chance of freezing tonight. Now, these clouds are going to bring a chance of precipitation. Snowflakes are flying in Wyoming right now, and they'll be moving into the Dakotas. But for us, we're more worried about the cold than any flaky activity for our neck of the woods. Thursday, a hard freeze is likely, and many of us will see that happen again on Friday morning. Thursday is a first alert weather day. Tonight, temperatures steady in the mid to upper 40s throughout the evening. Cloudy skies continue and a northeast breeze. I'll have hour by hour details and what you can expect on how low we go, Mike, as the temperatures just keep shrinking.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Hutch.
Students and staff at Horizon Middle School are mourning today. Around noon, the district notified parents of a middle school student's unexpected death. The school is offering grief support and counselors to students and staff. The name of the student and details have not been released.
The Canadian border is set to reopen to vaccinated Canadians in border towns, expecting to boost tourism and retail sales. During the 19-month freeze on border crossings, travel has been largely restricted to workers whose jobs were deemed essential. New rules will allow fully vaccinated foreign nationals to enter the U.S. next month. Border towns like Grand Forks are eager to welcome back Canadian shoppers.
We've noticed the biggest impact on our hospitality sector, so looking at hotels and restaurants. If you look at our events, I think you're going to see a 10 to 15% boost in those. I think our hotels will be anywhere between that 10 to 15% all the way up to 40-50% when you look at a hotel like the Canad Inn, which by name is a pretty popular one for Canadians to stay at.
While COVID testing isn't required to enter the United States at the land border crossing, Mayor Bushinsky says that Grand Forks is prepared to offer testing for foreign travelers.
Our medical centers is being able to provide testing, rapid testing, so that when Canadians come, they can still get back and get tested and get their results within 3 days, within 72 hours. So that's probably the biggest business challenge with with Canadians coming back down, but we're doing everything we can to prepare for that.
COVID-19 cases in the U.S. have dropped to about 85,000 per day. Case rates in Canada have been lower than the U.S. for the duration of the pandemic.
The Minnesota Air National Guard selected its first female state commander-chief. Commander-Chief Master Sergeant Lisa Erickson became the first female to achieve the title of State Command Chief of the Minnesota Air National Guard. As the State Command Chief, Erickson is the most senior enlisted member of the Minnesota Air National Guard. She'll play an important role in the readiness and development of approximately 2,000 airmen. Erickson has served in the National Guard for 32 years. She assumed the role of State Command Chief on Saturday at a change of responsibility ceremony in St. Paul.
Governors Tim Walz and Doug Burgum have directed flags to fly at half-staff in honor of the late General Colin Powell. In accordance with the proclamation issued by President Joe Biden, Governor Walz ordered flags to fly at half-staff at all state buildings until sunset on Friday. Walz said that Powell embodied the highest ideals of both a warrior and a diplomat. Governor Burgum said that Powell had an unwavering commitment to defending freedom and advancing American interests. Governor Powell passed away yesterday at the age of 84.
The new Amazon facility wants to hire more employees in time for the holidays. So far, 300 have been hired, but the goal is to reach about 1,400. Newly hired employees have access to a variety of benefits, including competitive pay and an education package offered on day one. Leadership says they also strive to provide a positive work experience for everyone.
What can we do as leaders to have that servant mentality to our associates and really ensure that when they come here, they want to be here and hopefully want to stay, right?
The new 1 million square foot facility is the largest building in North Dakota. It's also one of 100 new Amazon facilities that opened in September.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, we're going to tell you why retailers are urging you to start your holiday shopping early.
And at midnight, if you were out walking the Chihuahua, it was the high for the day, 57 degrees. We've slipped into the 40s and it's chilly. And here's a look at those wind chills out there, 30s in the Devil's Lake Basin. Your hour-by-hour forecast looks cold. There could be a few flakes. Details are coming up right after this.